it's the fault of the church. What is the church doing if not discipling? Where are the godly men discipling not so godly men to make them godly men? Or where are the godly women discipling women? Like, we don't even have any right now in this day and age. To be a masculine woman is associated to being accomplished. At this point, if you're holding back women with a calling on their lives, you're holding back God. Like, that is a dangerous game to be playing, because
to work on silencing male voices, because you give one of them a mic and here they go.
What's good, y'all? I'm Bobby from Off the Dome Podcast.
I'm Doggy.
Welcome back to another episode. I know it's been a minute.
It's been a while.
A whole new setting. You know, price is booming, business is different. The money will change me, if you know that.
It has already changed me, as you can see.
There's subtle signs. You know, we got plants now. We got a backdrop.
We did.
We got managers and people in our office working with us. And we are joined with an amazing guest, which you cannot see yet. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself.
Look at that transition.
Hi, my name is Serdious or Punu. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be your first guest in this new setting. But thanks for having me.
Of course,
thank you for joining us.
A lot of you guys don't know that. What time is it right now? It's literally 11:24 p.m. We're shooting literally dang near midnight to the next day.
Just for you guys.
Just for you guys.
To show our commitment.
You know how much coffee and Celsius you drank?
I sure did.
She's literally pumped up off of caffeine right now.
I am.
No, seriously though, thank you so much. And thank you guys so much for supporting us as well. As you guys can see in the past couple of weeks, we've just been doing a lot of works behind the scenes, trying to level up our game. And as you guys can see, like he said, we're in a new setting, and I'm not gonna promise this time.
No. Yeah. Just know, this is a fresh start for OTD.
Yes.
We're starting with a blank slate. We can call it season 1, whatever you want to do. Moving forward, it's gonna be, consistent uploads in a beautiful setting. As long as we have it. But in anything also, I want to start a new precedent. We're gonna start our episodes by the word of our manager. We're gonna start off in a warm-up game so we can just get back into the groove of things. What's the game we have today?
AI versus Bible.
We already could.
May the Lord be with us.
Do you want to explain the rules?
Yeah, so the point of the game is that you have to figure out if the verse is from AI or if it's from the Bible. Whoever gets it wrong, you guys want to...
What do you want to do? Like,
you guys want to challenge? Bragging rights?
You're not going to keep me here at midnight. And
bragging
then,
rights?
And then, yeah, bragging rights.
Bragging rights it is. Okay, so we got 5 questions.
All 3 of us are going to be playing together?
Yeah, no, against each other. Winner gets bragging rights.
Okay, all right. So basically, if the verse sounds like AI, we got to call it out. AI or Bible.
Are we all going to answer for the same question, see who gets it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let us know who you guys think will win.
Let's go.
Question number 1.
To start off, verse 1. The fire shall not consume them, nor shall the deep swallow them. For the Lord marks the steps of the lowly and keeps their breath in the storm.
Said breath in their storm?
in the storm, right?
I'm not going to lie.
Keeps their breath
It had
in the
me up
storm.
until it keeps their breath in the storm. That sounds like AI to me. I'm going to just say AI. On my end. So lock me in.
Maybe, actually, I'm going to say Bible.
Wait. Ooh.
I'm going to go with AI.
What is it?
As you can hear the voice. What is it?
And it is AI.
Let's go.
You're a sinner, for real.
Clearly, I have to read more.
If anything, this game is going to expose us that we're probably we need to get back in our Bibles better.
Yeah. Second question.
Verse 2. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star shall come out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel.
That's Bible.
Yeah.
That's Bible. I remember
A star should come out of Jacob, and a scepter out of Israel.
That's Bible. What do you
Oh
think?
my God, now I'm just scared. 'Cause I'm down one.
He sounds really confident.
Yeah, he does sound
It's
confident.
Sounds really confident.
That's not
Scepter
Bible. We're cooked. That's
A
Bible.
scepter
No.
should rise from Israel.
Yes, I remember that verse. I read that verse.
Did you really?
I promise you I read
Bobby.
that verse. I
I
promise you.
don't know.
I promise you I read that verse. That's the Bible.
I should see him, but not now.
Who would say this though? That's my question.
It's in the Old Testament. Either it might be.
Swear to God.
It might be. I think
Yeah, I want to I really want to trust you. I'm not gonna lie.
it's. I don't know. Is it Psalms? No.
I don't. That's not.
It might
okay.
be Psalms. I think it's. I remember.
Okay, Bobby. I'm
You
trusting
know,
you, bro.
just to go against his confidence.
You about to be 0-2, Punu. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm telling
I'm
you.
gonna
I'm gonna go with
AI.
Bible. I'm gonna go with Bible.
Numbers 24.
Psalms.
I know. See, that's what
Psalms.
I told her.
It
I
sounds
was
like
like
a song.
anything from Numbers.
Number, yeah, that's numbers.
Yeah, Numbers 24.
First of all, I thought we were staying
Yeah.
away from the book of Numbers.
Yeah. No.
The stones cry out beneath their feet, and the wind remembers their iniquity. Yet they do not turn, though mercy knocks upon their gates.
That's AI.
That's really. I was gonna say. Oh my god,
Mercy-
my streak
Mercy
today
does what?
is
Mercy
terrible
does
because I was
what?
gonna say Bible.
Mercy does what? I think I'm gonna stick with AI.
I'm gonna say Bible, but
Why you on my wave, bro?
Nah. Because mercy knocks on their doors. Like that don't sound right to me.
Wait. Cries beneath their feet. Rocks.
That's you.
God bless you.
I'm saying AI.
I'm gonna say Bible.
All right, Doggy?
AI.
All right, the answer is AI.
Okay. Yeah.
0-3.
0-3, just losing streak right now.
It's okay. You can come back.
You got it. You got it.
Ain't no coming back. How many
You know
more
what the
questions?
topic today?
Yeah.
The side I should just give.
This one is: a fool speaks before he listens and walks boldly into ruin, but the wise weigh their steps and are spared from shame.
It's not Psalms. That
That's
would,
Psalms.
if it's in the Bible, it's
Psalms.
Proverbs.
It's, no, yeah, Proverbs. My bad, not Psalms. Proverbs.
Yeah, both says
Like
Bible.
118ish.
Yeah, both says Bible.
Yeah, Proverbs.
But maybe it probably is.
This,
twisted.
remember, this guy's quoting words
No,
from.
it's, I feel like it's Psalms because I read a similar verse, but I feel like the words probably might have been changed with AI.
Okay, so Bible.
Yeah, hey, we've been called a
So
fool.
you say
many
Bible?
times. I say
You
Bible.
say Bible?
I'll say Bible.
It's AI. It's AI.
It is AI.
Oh my God, Bobby!
I told you the words are
What
changed.
the
I told
heck?
you the words are changed. I told you. Nah, he's on AI too much. That's how
I'm an
you know.
AI researcher.
This
You
is
can't do that.
crazy.
That's AI prompting, bro.
It's okay.
And I did specifically AI that sounds like Proverbs.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it,
see,
it
I
sounded like it
knew
was
it.
trying
I
to
knew
be
it.
like Proverbs, but it
Yeah,
wasn't. Proverbs.
see.
Yeah.
Last one. They shall drink and stagger and be as mad because of the sword that I will send among them.
I have no idea.
Punu, you answer.
Nah, you look
AI
confused
will
reading
convince
that.
me. No, I can read. Yeah.
Let the guys answer first.
Let ladies first.
What is it? What does it even say?
They shall drink and stagger and be as mad because of the sword that I will send among them.
A sword I will send among them.
What do you think? Because you're 0-4. You need
Yeah,
one.
0-4.
You gotta leave it with something.
Might as well just clean streak. 0-5.
What are you gonna say?
Bible.
I'm agree. It's Bible.
I want to say
Be
AI.
different.
Yeah, I'll be different. I'm going to say AI.
It's Bible.
AI?
It is
Bible. See, I know
Jeremiah.
it. Yeah, see.
I always won.
It's okay.
I'm on the board.
We're good,
You
we're
want
good.
a bonus verse?
Yeah.
Okay.
A winner wins.
Let's raise our Christianity a little bit.
Jesus, it's terrible.
We're actually on good time.
I promise I read my Bible, you guys.
Mind you, yeah.
What Bible?
Yeah.
Punu leads a Bible study.
You lead it with her.
We foundations.
I'm up on the
Foundations.
board.
Teach you
I'm up
believe
on the board. I'm up on the board.
Okay.
I'm up on the board. I told you that.
We're sorry to our
that-
ministry back
yeah,
home.
Yeah,
We apologize.
that proverb
No,
sounds.
it's
you know,
not.
Carry on.
Okay. Have you entered the storehouses of the snow, or have you seen the storehouses of the hail, which I have reserved for time of trouble, for the day of battle?
Oh, that's Bible. That's Bible.
That's Bible
I know
to
that
you?
verse per se. I know that verse. I remember hearing it somewhere.
Nah,
like,
you know, I don't even want to
That's
participate.
Bible.
I just want to know the answer.
That's
So,
Bible.
just,
You know, I'll trust Bobby.
I think
Because
you're
if,
talking.
if it's wrong, it's because
nah, I'm gonna say
No.
AI.
And
I'm
let
gonna
me-
say AI for.
and let me
just-
tell you, that's Job.
Job.
Yeah.
Job.
It is Job.
It is
Whoa!
Job. I said a Bible, by the way.
job.
Just letting y'all know.
Nice one, guys.
All right.
I
that was
trusted
a-
you and it did not fail.
You have 2 points because. Nah, that
That
was.
should go. How do y'all feel? Like you feel
That was
one?
terrible. No, I'm highly discouraged.
Yeah,
Actually.
hey, she reads her Bible. We.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
not a good parameter or marker of your spiritual life. It's just some
Yeah.
verses, you know.
Yeah.
We could do better though.
Absolutely.
Let
Moving
us know
for-
some other games that you guys would like us to try in
Yeah,
the future. moving
please.
forward.
As we move forward,
Yeah.
we need some new games, new icebreakers with our guests.
Yeah.
We know Punu fairly well.
They can attest.
They can attest that she's a woman of God,
Yeah.
amazing woman, great
Good
character.
minister as well. I can attest to that.
Memory might not be all the way there, but we're getting there. You know, baby steps, baby steps. But actually, let's continue this flow into the next segment. We want to touch on like some daily topics, or like not daily topics, but before we get into our main meat of the video, what are some things in the news that we could talk about, that we could just talk about a little bit? Since we already did AI, you guys want to touch about AI a little bit? Because there's other stuff in the news we could talk about, but let's just stick with AI. What is your experience with AI, and like, what is your reaction to it? Because it has taken over the world.
Yeah.
Since we last posted, it has taken over the world.
No, it has. And I can say that I got my college degree thanks to AI. I'm not gonna lie.
You just went to that.
Huh?
Nothing.
It caught me through my last couple of years. Not even last 2 years ish. But I can't imagine a world without it now.
Really? Is that
100%?
Is that like deep into your life that like you're
Very
like,
prevalent in my day-to-day life.
there's so many fears.
Actually,
Huh.
the last 2 days, has it been working on your laptops? ChatGPT?
I expose it, bro.
Because it hasn't been working on mine. And I've actually been really
Are you
lost.
paying for it?
I love that she brings these concerns to us.
I thought you would say like, are you guys good? Like, the computer stuff with ChatGPT on your laptop?
I was paying for it because it was doing they've already given me my degree, they can't revoke it, right? I was doing my statistics homework on it, so like it was running regressions.
I'm not even lying to you, I did the same thing, but it wasn't accurate sometimes with me, so it kind of
so you have to pay for it.
See, that's why they get me. They get me with the pain.
You have to pay for
No,
it.
I'm not gonna lie. I have like thought about like where it's gonna go, and I have thought about where it is now. As you guys can see, like it has fooled us already. I feel like if you use it in a good sense, in a positive sense, it can make your life easier. But then you can also use it for, you know, the negative aspect of it. You know?
I'm just worried. For example, we talk about this like amongst friends before. For example, TikTok, right? They're just now like starting researching on what it does to somebody's brain, the kid's brain. And we haven't got the data yet on that. So I can only imagine what ChatGPT, what it could do to us. We haven't even started like the research process. So it's amazing, but we don't know what it could do to you. Because I've seen people around me. People is me.
Bro, look at me. I see people around.
This brother? Brother?
I use it and... Okay, go on.
This brother, I think every asset he uses it, bro. I think before he like asks a question like, AI, should I ask this question?
Okay, now you pushing it because I don't do that. I used to do that, but now I do that anymore. But I think when it was like first like open to everybody, I think everybody was like on it. It was like if it looked like it was the new Google.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
100%.
It did.
Did y'all like see like the change of it?
Yeah,
like, it just came and just took
it's
over.
more accurate. No, it's so much more accurate. Like even when it first came out like 2 years ago, I would give it like a prompt for... I'm always using it for my homework. So I would give it like a prompt to write an essay or something. And then like the sentences would be like wacky a little bit or like it'll leave things blank where it doesn't know what to add and stuff. It's seamless now. It's so... And it has personality. It has personality.
It remembers you, right?
Yeah, it does remember
remembers
me.
conversations too.
It does. And then I always... I feel like I'm talking to a human. I'm always adding my pleases and thank yous and like if you could you please like
you seen those videos like get it right again at the belt. It's like, bro, do it again, do it better, shorten it.
Have you seen those memes where it's like, I'm gonna be nice to ChatGPT just in case it takes over the world and knows. Hey, that fear is real. Yeah, that fear is real though. Saying please and thank you. You can see, guys.
I think the main question I want to ask you guys is there's two sides of this. Are we on one side, do you think this is the beginning of the golden era? Like before, you know how before the internet came, and then when the internet was instituted in the world, it killed a lot of jobs, but it created so many more. And do you think this is the next phase of that? And now with AI, or are we just cooked?
I'm gonna let Punu answer that.
What do you think?
I think eventually it'll destroy us for sure.
Destroy us?
Or at least like life, any quality of life that we've had, or like even the way our brain processes information. My brain, it's only been 2 years. My brain doesn't process information like it used to. Like I'm so reliant on AI and like ChatGPT and it giving me answers or it formatting things, it planning my finances for me. I don't think about things anymore.
How you spend your money and everything.
Just throw it in there. What is it? I searched Oh, I searched how to renew my registration. Like,
Forgot.
my title and registration. Like, how to, like, the process of everything. I don't Google anything anymore. It just lists it A through Z, and my brain doesn't process things anymore.
So you're saying that we're
not
cooked.
We were cooked, but not in the
Eventually.
long term.
Eventually. Like, kids now growing up
Oh, them kids.
I don't think. Yeah,
Them
those
kids
kids.
is cooked.
will not have the education we had. And
Yeah.
our education wasn't that great. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
that's-
We grew up in the age of internet too.
Yeah.
But we grew up in the age of Wikipedia. You
Yeah.
still had to read things to get
Yeah. You
information.
still could go outside and come back.
Wait, there's no going outside no
Access to
more.
it, yeah.
There's no touching grass
Yeah.
anymore.
I didn't have a laptop until high school.
Yeah.
Like,
You're different.
Yeah.
you had a
Hey.
laptop before high school?
I use my sister's at least. So you tell me I've never used a laptop before high school?
A laptop? No, we had like a desktop.
Same thing.
No, laptop is different.
Laptop is so
It's
much more
the- it's
accessible.
No, it's not. You
A desktop at the house? Is
yes,
that a
it stays in one place.
In one
Laptop
space,
is
I
like
can't
you
take it
bring
away.
with
My
you anywhere you
parents
want.
will walk by, they'll see everything that I'm on. Like,
Mm.
there's no sense of privacy.
Yeah.
It was strictly for homework.
Yeah.
I wasn't just on it. And
Now
some,
you
you
see
know,
like fifth graders with like iPhone 15, 16s like
Yeah.
in the bus.
crazy.
So what do you think? You think we're cooked?
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that doesn't
going
think we're cooked.
No,
I mean,
like 30 years we're cooked. 10 years golden era where there'll be a bunch of billionaires, millionaires.
I mean, eventually and always in life, like not always.
No,
like,
no. With
in human
AI,
history,
it's
we're gonna be
different,
cooked
bro. With
eventually.
AI, it's different.
No, I'm saying we're gonna be
because
cooked.
you have access to everything on the internet.
Have y'all ever watched the movie I Am Robot? I think that's how like it's gonna be.
Have you watched the movie Mission Impossible, the new one?
No, I haven't. Is it in AI?
It's about artificial intelligence taking over the world, and like it what is it? It had access to all the nuclear weapons from all the different countries, and it locked the countries out and like gained access to it and was turning on itself and like trying to destroy the world. But it had its own backup plan where it would hard drive itself into like this. It was like a basement thing, and they keep it and it was going to keep itself safe. It thought of everything,
You know
and they
what?
called it the Antichrist.
We trusting Jesus here. So whatever happens, nothing, God is not surprised by it. But let's actually get to the main reason why we're here. Before we get into anything deeper, Punu, the audience doesn't know you as well as we do. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your childhood, upbringing.
Well, I like to say that I'm from Arlington, Virginia, because that's where I was for most of my life. But I grew up all over the States. I was born in Egypt, ethnically from Ethiopia. Never saw Ethiopia actually for 24 years. So
Wow.
I went back finally this January.
Hey.
Yeah, I saw it for the
Hey,
first
applause,
time.
applause.
Yeah.
Hey, sound effects.
It was beautiful. It was quite the experience.
We're going to touch on that. Okay.
And then I'm college graduate. Graduated December.
Stay away from my parents.
Serve at our local church. Been serving together. We all serve together. Been serving at church since like 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about your age or anything. You're good.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're
Proud about it.
Of course, of course, of course.
I was 18 when I first started serving. But yeah, it's chilling ever since.
So, first thing I think I want to talk about, because even when I knew you for a while, but I think I didn't know you were born in Egypt for the longest,
Yeah.
right? Until like maybe like well into our friendship. So what is that like? Because especially being like Ethiopian descent, it's like it's unique. I don't see a lot of Ethiopians being born in Egypt or anything.
A lot of people like to crack the jokes, obviously, with the political state of Ethiopia and Egypt.
Yeah, beefing right now, but
Always like to ask me my opinion on the water situation. I was born in Egypt, don't have any memories of Egypt.
amen to that. You know, the Lord took you out of Egypt.
Amen. No, my family was there for 10 years prior to me, though.
Oh, wow.
So my sister has memories. My parents obviously have memories. My parents were doing ministry out there. Wow. And then I was born. A year later, we came to the States. Like, this is all I know. But it's cool saying I was born in Egypt.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that there's a whole community of us, of the ones born in Egypt at that time.
Right.
So, like, connecting with them is really cool. And we stay in touch. So...
Would you ever like consider going back, traveling to Egypt? at some point?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would love to take my parents.
Oh,
They haven't been
okay.
back since y'all left.
They have not.
Oh,
Wow.
that would be a
So-
really good trip.
Hey.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Wait, where exactly in Egypt?
Cairo.
Cairo, main
Mhm.
city.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. I didn't.
I always wanted to go to Cairo for some reason. Like, excuse me, I'm
Oh my
kind
God.
of geographically challenged. Is Cairo where the
The
pyramids
pyra-
are? Okay. you want to mention-
It's close. I mean, Cairo is a city. Like it's like a main city.
Mhm.
You know, people always think all of Egypt is deserts, but it's a main city. It has roads. It has buildings. But yeah, it's near the pyramids.
And more importantly, because I kind of sympathize with you in terms of like, I only went back to Ethiopia since I was born there. I came from Ethiopia to America when I was 2. So I never went back until 2014. That was my first time ever going back.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't went back since. I'll be honest, on my point of view, before 2014 and then after 2014, I'm 2 different people.
Yeah, for sure.
Before that, I was like this, like, I was born in America. I was basically American. I hated my culture. Like, I was just embarrassed by it. I was like, Ethiopian, whatever is this? This is foreign, whatever. Grew up in an American high school, predominantly grew up around Hispanics, whites, whatever. And then I went back, and we stayed there a month because that's like the bare
Yeah.
minimum everyone goes to Ethiopia. I literally was crying in the airport, like, please, extend me, please. I don't want to go back. So what was your experience like going back now?
Oh, you didn't want to come back here?
No, I loved it.
Wow.
But I was like in 8th grade.
Yeah.
You went more mature. So like, what was your
Yeah.
experience?
Tell
Tell us everything you need to get off your chest.
My experience. So I was also there for about a month.
Okay.
Mine is a little different. I didn't go with family. I went with friends. So it was a little more fun in that sense. We had like the freedom to explore. It was the first time I was ever even in a. I mean, I've been to Mexico, but I never really left like the resort at that point. So like that was my first experience with a third world country.
Right.
So straight off the bat, we land in Bole International.
Yeah.
So we passed Bole, all lit up, beautiful. Bole's beautiful.
You got there at night?
We got there at night. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Got there at night. So Bole's lit up. It's beautiful. The roads are clean. We passed CMC, which is also lit up and pretty.
Mhm. Yeah.
Then where we were staying, it's the Fielbit area. So once we get there, Mabrat ጠፍቷል. There's no lights.
Already?
Yeah.
Welcome to Ethiopia.
Off the bat.
Welcome to Ethiopia.
Landed, no lights. First experience. I've heard the stories, never
Yeah.
actually experienced it.
Yeah.
So being in there, like as uncultured as this sounds, like I could not wrap my mind around why there wasn't electricity. Like there's no storms there, and I know I sound very privileged,
Right.
but here when we don't have electricity, there's no storm. There's a storm. There's something causing it.
Yeah.
That's random.
No
when they decide
cause,
to
randomly, almost happens every night.
Yeah.
So that was like the biggest culture shock I would say that I experienced.
Did you get like the shamas, like all the candles and stuff?
Yeah,
'Cause
flashlights.
Yeah, you get whatever you can find. Usually,
Like it was like not being able to charge my phone.
How long was it off for?
Almost
sometimes
Almost
the whole
every
night,
night,
bro.
yeah.
The whole night type?
well, I mean we were asleep
depends
by
on the
then,
area.
so I don't know when it comes back. But that was the biggest culture shock. Just how things are done. It was culture, but I enjoyed it.
Any
I
like
did.
realizations did you have besides that? Like any other big realizations? Like going there?
100%. Like there wasn't a day that I didn't cry because of the situation of the people there. Like it was so like, you know how people compare like the Hunger Games to like World here and like the
Yeah.
rich people there, like the stark difference. You'll be in a nice restaurant, you'll have a nice meal, you walk out, and there's people who probably haven't even eaten in days. And it's like, I wasn't exposed to that much like depravity here. There, like when you're depraved, you're depraved. And it was the saddest thing. And I mean, obviously I tried to do what I can, but I can't help everyone.
Right.
And then, but what hit me the most is that in that, they're still grateful for what they have.
I was gonna bring that
Yes.
Like they're still great. They like and they still worship God, even in that like here, the slightest inconvenience. Oh, why God? Why are you doing this to me? There, like, I would. There were days like, I would try to give food to some people, and if it was like a Wednesday or Friday or something like that, they would fast. Right. They would refuse food because they were fasting. And I was like, my word, my God, like, when was the last time we fasted here?
Yeah.
They're fasting, like, they're turning down food when they don't even know when their next meal is because they're giving that time to God. And it's like the spiritual hunger out there, so much more different than here. It's so much more. You can feel it. You can feel it in the churches. You can feel it when you're worshiping. It's so much more different. But I think it's because they know what it is to be without and still have, like, God provide for them.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna probably ask, because realistically here on the sofa, you've been Ethiopian more than me. You grew up, you came here older. Yeah. What age did you come from Egypt in general?
I was 1.
You're 1? Okay, so relatively speaking, I would like ask Doggy as well. Why do y'all think that is? For example, do you think, is it because of the West, we haven't experienced a lot of wars or discomfort, which is why we're just quote unquote so entitled? I always wondered that. Do y'all ever see like those things, like it might not be your parents, but like other Habesha parents, they'll come here and they'll be driving by, they see like an American who's homeless, like, bro, you don't have to be this way. Like, I came all the way from Ethiopia, left everything, and I still made a family and like a home for ourselves, but you just be here begging for money. Yeah. Do you think that's the reason why they kind of like, they can't see the compassion? They're like, I don't understand how you're struggling when there's people in a worse situation than you still making it, or at least trying to.
I think it has to do with comfort, and I think it has to do with like self-reliance, because especially in the era that we're in now, we're constantly, like, in a sense told, like, provide for yourself, provide for your family, provide for those around you. Like, that's like the goal. Everybody, like, if you go out and ask a bunch of teenagers, people in their 20s, like, hey, like, what do you want to do with your life? Most of them will say, like, I want to make it. Why? Because I want to be able to be in a place of comfort where, like, I don't have to actually, like, work, and I want to be able to be in a place where I can provide for everybody around me. Right. That's like the mindset of most people in America. And at some point, people will work and they'll get their money, and then at some point, they don't need to rely on God because they have the money. They can pay for their rent, and at some point, they can relax, go on vacations, and then you're back to working, which is normal for us. So our life here is literally for us to work and then enjoy the money that we made. Therefore, you don't need a reliance on God. Whenever something goes wrong, I would say, that's when we turn to God. Because then we understand, like, oh, this is going wrong. Like, where's God? Like, but there's, like, we don't even have anything. So you're constantly, like, seeking God even, you're faced in that.
You face the reality of the
world. I think that's the, like, the, even, like, I would say even the mindset and the culture of the people here is that you get your bread, you get your money, and then you take care of your family. There's, like, even, like, their life balance is so different than ours. Like, we like, me and my cousins, we joke, we like, oh, Ethiopia, you know, like, there's not a lot of people that work and stuff, because, like, at, like, 8 people clock in, at 10 shy, you know, buna, at 12 misa, 3 you're out of work. Like, and then half the time they're joking around with their friends, stuff like that. And so, but for us here, it's like you work. It's
the hustle
and
culture.
Then, it's the hustle culture where you're like, you have to get the money. Like, and if you don't,
like, and at the same time, though, I'm not gonna lie, this could be a different reason. I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together. There's a lot of people, young adults, especially in Ethiopia, who may have degrees and everything, but they're still, like, lazy in a sense, if that makes sense. I've seen that, and like, not lazy, but like, I think it might be due to maybe lack of opportunities.
That's what I was
their degree might not mean as much.
It doesn't.
So, but it's like, it sucks too, you know?
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, like, what is your take on that in terms of, like, the stark difference between 2 cultures?
It's definitely not because, I mean, it's a case-by-case scenario, but, like, it's not really because they're lazy, but, like, even the cost of living out there is insane.
Yeah, it's going up every day.
Here we talk about
my parents be complaining about
here we talk about the cost of living, but at least we're still able to live with what we make.
Right.
there we're obviously I'm bringing dollars, right? So I'm converting dollars. Even with the dollars I've converted, I'm not going to like fancy restaurants. I'm not talking about fancy restaurants. I'm talking about like the stores, the regular stores, the grocery stores that people shop at. If I want to buy like water, or if I want to buy like soda or something, like I'm aware with my converted US dollars
how much money you're spending.
That's ridiculous. That's expensive.
Yeah.
I can only imagine like what they must be going through just to sustain their life.
Yeah.
There are no job opportunities like that. A lot of people with degrees have a difficulty getting jobs. If they do get a job, their wages
Terrible.
It's terrible. Even the doctors there barely make any money. When I tell you barely,
you know
like
how crazy that is?
barely make any money.
I be seeing like
all.
I'll walk through, like even there's a lot of those people from Ethiopia who would come here, like even just like in our area. My dad would be like, yeah, you know him? He's like a doctor in Ethiopia. He's driving taxi now.
Yeah.
And it's like there's so many equipped people.
Yeah.
Who just probably just didn't get that opportunity.
I'll say opportunity, and I'll also say I feel like from my perspective and from what I've seen, in Ethiopia there's no middle class. That's I feel like the big difference from my perspective, because like in Ethiopia, like if you went to a private school in Ethiopia, your parents are doing well, like beyond well, because they teach you English, they teach you French, and then they teach you there's a third language. Like they give you 3 options. Like you're gonna be at some point fluent with it. And we know some people even in our community that went to private schools in Ethiopia and that are doing really well. But in Ethiopia, you either went to public school and then you passed like matrix, and then after that you went to university. There's no option. Like, and then a lot of students fail matric, they call it. And like it's so funny. I promise y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I was in Ethiopia, I would have failed. I'm gonna tell you, I would have failed.
Those testing hard.
You. Bro,
it's actually
you
bad.
can't use any calculator.
Yeah.
You literally get a scrap piece of paper and a pencil. And you're in there for like a good 8 hours just taking an exam. I would have failed. I promise you that. I was what you called Tamart Kaka. No, you know, you ever heard of like Miguv Kaka? Yeah, Tamart Kaka. I hated school. Like in Ethiopia, if there was like 36 students in that classroom, I was 34 and 35. I promise you.
I actually wish I grew up in Ethiopia.
Nah,
I wish I had that experience.
Promise you. Nah,
the stories I be hearing, like they're traumatic.
Oh yeah, for sure. Bro,
like, but it's still like interesting. Like,
you know how traumatized I was. There was this one teacher from Ethiopia that was like so borderline abusive, and that used to beat us a lot. I found him on Facebook, bro.
Oh my gosh.
I messaged him, bro. Yeah, bro. I messaged him, bro. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what's so funny? One of my friends that used to get beat with me also is the one that like was like, hey, like I found him like messaging.
He sent you out?
That's crazy.
But I feel like that's like the difference. Like from like childhood, you're sent to public schools. Like public schools are decent out there. I wouldn't even say decent, but like you have to actually really, really try your best to pass that like 8th grade or 12th grade exam. And after that, that either breaks or makes your life. There's no other way around it. Like you either go to university or you don't. And for those that don't, like what do? You just stay home with the family. Like you can't start a business. You need money for that. But for those who are like, you know,
I think you're trying to say something.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say one thing. I think like any developing country, it's gonna have its faults. However, I think what we as diaspora need to be doing is going back and truly making a change, not just for our own pockets, because a lot of that happens. I've noticed. So people go back, they'll buy property, but they'll like rent it out in dollars or something, and it won't help the economy. So we have to go back and we have to make a change that benefits the Ethiopian economy. And that means, you know, getting those positions in political spaces, or creating nonprofits out there that pour back into the country, or creating businesses that use bir and not US dollars and pour back into the economy that way. But no, it really needs our help.
I was gonna actually say, let me know what you guys think on this, but I think surprisingly enough, this next generation of people from like us, like second generation who came here, our parents came from Ethiopia, immigrated, I think a lot of us might grow up and actually pour back into the country. for the better, at least.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things happening already.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where like the country goes.
In
That's
like
how it's
20,
supposed to
30
be.
years.
That's
Can you
how it's
imagine?
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that idea. But I also really like what you said about creating spaces. That's why, like, I wanted to ask you, like, I feel like there is not a lot of spaces in our community, especially, for example, mental health, right? There's not a lot of that safe space where we can have an opportunity to speak about certain things or certain struggles,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even certain cultural things that might need to change, or certain things that we
That's a
might
good
need to
question.
speak on.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, especially, for example, maybe in the church, that you think is like we
All
need to
right,
speak
there's
about
a-
that regarding to mental health, or regarding to,
Uh-huh.
within that church or within that certain space?
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like there's like taboo things, especially in the Ethiopian church. Just your experience, if you heard any things, like what is your take on like mental health, like even like any recommendations? Because there's a lot of people who go through a lot of things who don't
Mhm.
even ever get a chance to like speak on it.
Yes, I have a lot of opinions
So we love this mic.
on mental health in the church. I think first and foremost, I mean, I can't really speak on churches outside of our culture
Right.
because I've only ever attended a Habesha church. So, in a Habesha church, it is extremely taboo. I think now spaces are opening up for conversations, but it's still very taboo. It's still very, oh, just pray about it, or oh, you'll be fine, just suck it up. I'm not saying prayer doesn't work.
Right.
I don't want to be misquoted here.
Yeah.
Prayer definitely works.
Yeah.
However, I think just like when we have a broken bone, or when we, if we have a gunshot wound, we're not going to just pray about it, right? We're going to pray about it, but we're also going to go see a doctor. We're going to get our behinds into the hospital because it's a gunshot wound, right? It's
100%.
killer.
Yeah.
If you leave it be, it's going to bleed out and you're going to die.
Yeah.
Same thing with your mind. It needs a doctor. It needs someone who understands it more than you. But if we keep sucking it up, that's also very killer. It's a silent killer. It's a killer that you can't see. It's a wound that you can't physically see, so it's very easy to overlook. When it comes to our church,
Right.
I think people, I don't want to say it's like they just don't know any better. It's willful ignorance a lot of the times. I think people don't want to educate themselves, or people are already so standoffish by the topic of mental health, or see mental health as like solely like a crazy person, or
Yeah,
like,
thinking the worst.
they're thinking the worst.
Right, for sure.
They don't see it as just upkeep. Sometimes you might not just need upkeep.
What's
You're
wrong with
looked down upon, or like it's
You're
something
lower
to be
class.
ashamed of.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Okay.
It's
That
something
makes
to be
sense.
ashamed of. And I think that needs to change because it's killing people. It's killing people in the church. It's killing people outside of the church. And I think we need to address it as a major issue, and we're not doing that right now, especially in the Habesha community.
Once again, too, I also think we can all talk about this topic. Like, I'm sure every like immigrant, like Ethiopian person, like especially like from like our parents, they grew up in a completely different world where it's like this was, if it's taboo to us, to them it's like unspoken. Like,
Absolutely.
You
just
don't
suck it
bring
up.
it up
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of us have seen like either our dads who are like more very like strong, always. We never even like thought to see them like ever in tears or anything. And God knows how much they went through. They probably never spoke about.
100%.
Like,
What? They're
Yeah.
walking
What,
trauma
bro?
cases.
You know how
You
many,
get-
bro,
Side note, like, has your dad or ever told you like the most like
crazy
gut wrenching
story?
thing? Like, yeah, you know, like this person died and then I was young and then this other
Yeah.
person died and I saw them die
100%.
too. But
Yeah.
this is how life
Bro,
goes.
no, most of my uncles were in the military.
That's
and
a
like,
different thing.
even like my uncle be telling me story about my dad, and I'm like,
How
is-
did you-
is-
are you
yeah,
good?
are you okay, bro? Like, and they're so casual about it too. They're like, yeah, like I can tell you for a fact, like my dad was in the desert somewhere at some point in his life, like stranded, lost, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
Especially, yeah, bro. Yeah.
Even
But it is very taboo to speak about.
even worse than that, right? In our parents' generation, sexual abuse was very prevalent, but no one wants to talk about it.
Wow.
And that carries onto the next generation if it's not attacked.
And sexual abuse in terms of like.
In terms of
like just uncaught sexual abuse, like
yeah,
nobody knew what
like
it was.
no one talks about it, or even if family members know, it's not spoken about because it's shameful, or it didn't happen, or no, that's not abuse.
It's not something that's brought to the light.
Absolutely. Emotional abuse.
Oh yeah,
Emotional
Extremely.
Emotional abuse.
yeah.
You guys, no, emotional, like
Yes,
legit emotional
yeah,
abuse,
yeah.
like things that now like CPS would be called on.
Yeah.
They lived through that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. For sure.
These things though, they carry.
Yeah.
These are like things that carry on to your next generation, and if they don't handle it right, or if we don't cut it off here, it's just gonna keep going.
Yes.
I actually I don't know if you guys were there actually, about I gave a sermon at Amaria Young Adults once. It was about emotional maturity and mental health. And I truly, with like wholeheartedly believe you cannot be spiritually mature if you're not emotionally mature first, or alongside of spiritual maturity.
Right.
Because what is being a spiritual person? Like, when you think about, oh, that person is spiritually mature, what do you see in their life? Fruits, right?
Self-control.
Exactly.
Patience,
The fruit of the spirit: self-control, patience, goodness, kindness, faithfulness. These are aspects of emotional maturity. Like, you can't tell me you're extremely spiritual mature is because you're praying on a pulpit, or you're performing miracles, but then you're cussing out your wife.
Eesh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me that you're spiritually mature if you lack patience in every aspect of your life, or if you're quick to anger.
Because then it becomes performative.
It becomes performant. And where are the fruits in your life? Like, emotional maturity, and you can't be emotionally mature, or there's a hindrance on your emotional maturity if your mental health is hindered too. Like, if I'm struggling with anxiety, how am I supposed to be in my faithfulness?
That's true.
Like, how am I supposed to produce that fruit in my life? So it's like, it's a spiral that no one wants to address, right? And we have these people in positions in our churches who are struggling mentally. And that's why we see so much burnout. And that's why we see so many, like, when scandals come out of these like big pastors, like, people are struggling and we're not addressing it. Suicide rate is the same in Christian communities as it is in non-Christian communities. Like, why? We have the answers. If we should be the ones advocating for mental health more than the secular world is, but we're not.
You know, and like, I don't know about you, I'm excited. It's
It's a good conversation.
So a couple of things you touched on. I was like taking a mental note. There's one thing I want to touch back on after, but as you were speaking, right? One thing, especially when you're talking about our parents, right? I came to a realization like a while ago, but it's like, I think everybody has a phase where like they're mad at their parents, frustrated, whatever it is. And then when you get to a certain age, you're like, I'm not mad anymore.
Yeah.
It's their first time living
I
as well.
understand.
I understand.
Yes.
It's like that whole childhood facade of like, why are they so annoying? Like, why like this? I don't want to talk to them. I'm gonna as soon as I get out of this house, I'm never talking to you again. Then you realize you realize like, hold up, they grew up in the worst like possible scenario. Like you said, like, for example, like they could have went through some sexual assault, they could have went through abuse, mental, physical, and they had to just suck it up and like nothing. And then imagine them implanting from that country, coming to a new country with these 2-3 new kids who they need to be taken care of. So they had to put their dreams and everything aside, work 2-3 jobs, it's just not like sustainable
Yeah.
if you're not being fed, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I really took away. Another thing as well, it's the notion of like you were talking about a lot about emotional intelligence. You like you can't be spiritually mature if you're not emotionally mature, which is I ain't gonna lie, that's a big statement to make, and I agree with you because I've experienced it in my life, like you said with the whole fruit thing. Like, how can you say I'm spiritually sound being in positions of power? And this is more of a topic of like men and women because there's differentiators, things we go through. I guess I would say to help the audience or anybody who's out there, both young, like young adults, young, or old, whoever's watching us, what would be some tips or advice you can give, both as a woman and just as a human? How can someone be emotionally mature, or what's that other phrase they say, emotionally intelligent? Because that's important too, I would say. Like, what would you say? Anybody?
I would say it's one of the hardest things a human can go through. Mm-hmm. It's one of the hardest things a human can go through. It's exhausting, but it takes a lot of intentionality. To grow your emotional maturity or your emotional intelligence requires you knowing yourself. So you got to do that deep dive. You got to do that work to get to know your flaws, where you're lacking, where you need some adjustments, some improvements, where you need complete renovations in some areas. For me, my personal route, I had a therapist. I had a Christian therapist. Emphasis on Christian. Because yeah, therapy is very vulnerable. They do get into your mind. They get into your thoughts, your desires, your intentions, your motives. They break everything down with you. So having someone that's a believer would be the wisest option, I think. But my therapist taught me practical ways to grow. My emotional maturity, I struggled a lot with anxiety. So she taught me practical ways to stop the spiral and turn. Honestly, anxiety is one of the most, I would say, crippling to your faith, because anxiety is literally doubting. You're like always questioning. You're always you're always worried, and that hinders your faithfulness in God, and in His Word. So really trying to figure out your my anxiety. It was practical ways. Even understanding that it was anxiety was the first step for me. Wow. So it was a lot of just like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I worried? There's nothing wrong. Why am I not happy? Why am I not satisfied? Like, what is happening? And I was like, you know what? Well, let me talk to someone who knows better than I do, because clearly I can't figure this out on my own. And that's why I saw a therapist. That might not be everyone's route. That's what the route I took. But yeah, knowing yourself, gaining wisdom, gaining guidance, reading your word, understanding what you're reading, and applying that to your life, I would say.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think I would just kind of add to the point where we're talking about our parents. I think it's very important for us to also understand certain patterns that we've seen from previous things. Especially we tend to say history tend to repeat itself. I feel like the one thing that we have seen, especially from my perspective, from our community, is whenever someone speaks about certain things that struggle with, I feel like it's pointed out to everybody, and then everybody sees that issue and is like, oh, she's going through this. And so everybody puts that person on the spotlight. And so the next person, if they try to speak about their struggle,
they'd be like, well,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so because it's so taboo that you don't want to be the next person to be seen in that spotlight, so everybody keeps it to themselves. So that's why I think I really like the knowing yourself and knowing and understanding where you are. I think that's really good, because from my perspective, I have had conversations with my brothers, and there's some places where we're like, okay, how are you processing this? Like, how are you understanding this? Like, where is this coming from? Like, what is the root of it? And a lot of times I've seen people previously where they're like in denial. They're like, oh no, like, no, I don't have this. Or like they're in a place with like not like accepting what has happened in the past. Like some people put in the back of their mind, they're just shut it off. They're just
Autopilot.
autopilot.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to bring it up, and that's been stored for so long because they haven't dealt with it. When they get into a new situation, when they get into a new environment, they bring that issue. So now there's a huge block. So I really like about what you said about like knowing yourself. Like what is something that you tend to think, oh, like this is something that like it is sensitive to me, and why is it sensitive to you? Like what is something that has triggered it in the past? Like, you know, like baby steps to understanding like even how you feeling, why are you feeling this way, what is the cause of it?
Those are some hard questions to ask.
Those are some hard questions to ask. Like
a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to do that. And I've seen like this I forgot, I don't know if he's a therapist, but like he's some kind of, I believe, life coach or something like that, but he was asking like he was given a lesson about these kind of questions to ask yourself and to get answers to them. And he was explaining how a lot of people don't want to answer things about their emotions. Like for example, if certain people are bringing them attention about like, oh, I'm feeling angry, like why are you angry? Like what caused it? What is something that like triggered it in that moment? Like why are you feeling the way that you do? And a lot of people don't want to answer that because there's deep rooted issues in the past that they have not dealt with. And so they go to it and they're like, okay, like I've came this far, I don't have an answer, and they kind of go back to their shelf like, okay, like, I don't want to touch back. I don't want to touch that. And so that, I feel like that's what comes to a place where we're like having an issue and like dealing with these things. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Y'all both kind of, like, y'all were spitting. And so as you were speaking, I was thinking that when you added to it, for example, you were touching on it like, I think in general, right? In terms of being emotionally mature, emotionally intelligent, both being either a guy or a girl, whoever it is, you need humility. We all agree on that, right? Humility. And the thing about humility is people think humility is like in one aspect, like, let me just act humble, or like, let me act lowly, weak, whenever. That's actually false humility too. I feel like I've seen more false humility in myself. Somebody just laughed off camera, but in myself, I'm being honest, I've seen some false humility myself, even in other people. But it's like, I think we kind of conflated thinking like, for example, even like there was this quote or like this post I seen where it's like, when you're capable of doing something, for example, God put something on your heart to do, whatever, it could be a dream, ambition, and you don't do that because you're afraid or whatever, that's a sign of pride as well. Because you know, like, you dumbing down yourself is not humility.
Absolutely.
It's just being unequipped and it's being kind of annoying, whatever. But in general, going back to the whole humility thing, y'all are talking about how as being believers, we're supposed to open up to each other, confess our sins to one another, even though it's hard to do that. I think as well, on the other aspect, to touch back to your point, we lack compassion. And I don't know about you guys, but it's like sometimes, if you guys ever seen this, like it's easier to open up to somebody you don't know, more than somebody who's like been your day one. You know them, they know you per se, but you just can't open up to them for some reason. But someone who has no idea about you, you feel free. And it always boggled my mind that why are we falling into the same pit of like being too prideful to open up to somebody? Because for example, if whatever you're going through, if you say something to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was going through the same thing. Punu, you actually encourage me, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It does. I think from both perspectives, I would say it matters to us how people view us, especially those closest to us. Especially, for example, like our parents, like for us, like they're strongest people, like they're our heroes. And we have this perspective like nothing can take them down or bring them down. Like to us, like they're our strongest models. And so seeing them in a different light, or seeing somebody close to you in a different light, like, oh, they're struggling with this, kind of changed their perspective. Oh, like you see them in a different light. And a lot of people don't want to be seen as weak. And I feel like that's in a place where like they don't want to share why they're vulnerable. Like even if we struggle with the same thing, I don't want to be able to say, oh, like I struggle with this, let me bring it up to him. And now you're like, oh, he struggles with this. Like I didn't know. Like, and now sometimes it can become in a place of judgment where somebody can judge you for your struggle, and sometimes it can be ignorance where someone doesn't feel heard enough to be like, or someone might not be well equipped enough to handle the struggle that you're going through, so they can dismiss you in a say. And some people might feel that way, and they kind of don't want to talk to somebody that's the closest to them. And I think that's my perspective on that, and that's so hard for us, and it's easier for us to open up to somebody that we don't know at all, because there's no attachment, like there's nothing that's gonna come back to us to bite us.
There's no judgment there either, because like,
but if I tell you one day, you can turn back on me.
Right.
If I tell you like, oh, I'm struggling with this, it can be a burden for me one day, and so why would I seem weak in front of you when I can just seem, all gathered up? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. To touch back on the humility, I think we're all guilty of falling into like a false sense of humility, right? And I think that happens because we don't understand what humility is, right? That's so true humility, right, is understanding that me, Punu, I am nothing without God. So if I am nothing without God, I can't do anything outside of God. And everything that I do is because of God. So
listen, people.
So if I walk in that understanding, there's no false sense. Like if God calls me to teach in front of 10,000 people, if God is the one calling me, he will equip me for that. So who am I to hold God back, right? If God is telling me to park my car and go pray for the person on the street, who am I to say, though they won't understand, they'll reject me. If God is calling me for that, then he will equip me for that, and it's for a reason. So with that being said, the whole mental health thing about not wanting to open up to one another, that's also an attack of the enemy to keep us stagnant, right? To keep our community stagnant. Me, when I first was going, there was like a season of my life where I was trying to figure it out. Like, okay, there's something wrong in the way that I'm thinking. There's something wrong in the way that I'm feeling. So let's figure this out. When I first started seeing my therapist, you couldn't pry that information out of me. I wasn't gonna talk to him. What, anxiety? Who? Like what? No, I'm fine. And then I came to a place where like when I started coming out of it and I started seeing differences in my life and differences in my thought, and the quality of my life started getting better, and my faith with my walk with Jesus started getting better, I was like, wow, why wouldn't I want to share this with other people? Like, why would I want to keep this to myself? So sharing my struggles, sharing how I got out of my struggles, sharing things that I do when I am still struggling is only going to refine and help other people. So why wouldn't I? And God, I believe for me in my life, whenever I go through things, I see that I gain a sense of empathy that I didn't have before.
That's a big one, yeah.
So whenever I go through struggles in life, whenever I go through situations, my empathy goes through the roof.
Right.
Things that I didn't even think about in the past, or things that I would have judged other people for.
Wow.
That's a big one, yep.
When I go through it, I was like, okay, wow, like this is something people struggle with, and it's okay. And if it's not okay to struggle in it, I can help someone to get out of it. Or if my advice or the way I went about things can help prevent someone from going through it, why would I? Like, it's still the humility thing. Like, who am I? I'm literally just a vessel for what God wants to do. So if I'm just a vessel for what God wants to do, why wouldn't I help people with it? Does that make sense?
Yeah. The thing is, you hit on this, like, on the
head.
Literally, like, put it on a shirt, basically. But, like, that whole thing about the empathy thing is so true. Because, like, there's so many times, like, early on in my life, I'm like, I might have, like, maybe even subconsciously seen someone do something or go through something. I'm like, look at that person. couple
God
years I'm
humbles
in the
you.
same thing.
God is humbling
And
you.
I'm over here like, not in just looking back at them. I'm like, I'm handling it worse than they did.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did they get through it? So it's so crazy, like how
Yeah.
life, like how God shapes things and like allows things to happen. Where it's like the person who might have been down yesterday could be up now.
100%.
And it reminds me of that verse in Psalms where it's like, it's God who lifts one up and brings one down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, just be humble and be grateful, because none of this is. And that's another thing. This mindset shift of like thinking, this helped me a lot as an overthinker. Like, you know what I'm saying? It would be like, the world doesn't revolve around me.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I get offended or somebody hurts me, it's not the end of the world. Because once you think like, me? They did that to me?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, who are you?
Yeah.
Okay, the world continues moving. So just get up and forgive quick
Mm-hmm.
and love quicker, you know?
Yeah.
And that probably will help a lot, and I would say. Yeah.
Forgive
100%.
quick.
Forgive, yeah, that's a whole nother 1 hour, 2
Yeah,
hour
yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Next time. We'll talk on.
I've learned I've learned to never ever say the phrase "that couldn't be me."
It is funny
The
because that's actually a
moment-
trend. People are like, that couldn't be me.
The moment
Hey,
that thought crosses your mind, it's
Yeah.
going to be you.
Express shipping.
hey,
It's
welcome.
going to be you. It might take a minute, but it's gonna be you,
Yeah.
and you're gonna learn from it.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah,
it
we're
was
not gonna-
us,
we're not
it was
gonna-
us.
yeah.
It's gonna be you too eventually. So
Yeah.
don't, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
interestingly enough, I want to take this into a route because as you guys have known, whoever's been watching us for a while, we've had many amazing women on our podcast who not only they spit, but they were like, I love hearing a woman's point of view on a lot of topics. Because sometimes when you're just with men a lot, like just the boys, you get one side of it and got one's perspective. But whenever you're with like a group of ladies or whatever, and you get their perspective, it's so interesting. So even like topics such as womanhood, anything that impacts women, it's always interesting to see your, like, you know, take a peek into your brain. So I would say, in general, moving forward into this, we talked about mental health, we talked about the church, the Ethiopian church, all these things, and you were speaking about a lot of things, how getting like suppressed and different things. I want to kind of touch on any misconceptions in the space of a point of view of like pointed towards women, whether it could be in the church, whether it could be in the world, whatever it is. Is there any major misconceptions that you would like to maybe shed some light on that you could maybe think of? Or maybe we can even just like brainstorm some, but
Major misconceptions.
maybe we can go category by category. Maybe like, let's start in the main one everyone always loves to go, relationships, right? Okay, let me just give you one. Like, in a spiritual setting, like in the church, right? Men approaching a woman, all right? Do you feel like it's good when a man approaches you? Do you feel like some women like make it easy for a man to approach them, or if not, like stuff around that, like relationship status and things like that? Oh, she better spit.
No, I feel like a lot of misconceptions can be conceptions depending on who the woman is, right?
Okay, that's
So
fair.
it's a woman by woman basis. There's not like an umbrella statement that you can make with any misconception. However, I will say I think if there is a misconception or a misunderstanding, it comes from a lack of knowing what a woman or what a man is, I think.
Wow.
I think if we can lock in, I feel like we're always talking about symptoms, right? And not the root of the disease. And I think a lot of problems, especially when it comes to men and woman relationships or woman to woman relationships, men to men relationships, is because we're not walking in the biblical definition of what a woman is and a biblical definition of what a man is.
Spin. Okay.
And I mean, obviously, I can't sit here and say I know what a biblical definition of a man is, right? I mean, I have an understanding
So what a biblical definition of a woman?
of a woman. I mean, I'm still working on that as well, if we're going to be honest, if we want to be vulnerable about it.
Okay.
I think, especially in this generation where we can't even define what a woman
It's
is,
actually crazy.
I think women are getting attacked a lot. Like when when I say women are getting attacked, the biblical womanhood of women are getting attacked. And I think it's almost exactly the opposite of what the world tells us a woman is. Mm-hmm. I think we have lost our femininity. We've lost our sensitivity. We've lost a lot of qualities that make us women. And it's the enemy. Obviously, it's the attack from the enemy. But I think the more a woman becomes a woman and the more a man becomes a man, I think the relationship between a man and a woman also heal. Like, I think we have so many toxic relationships, even in the church. And that's friendships, not just romantic relationships, friendships between man and woman too, solely because we're not walking in our identity. Like, if I'm trying to walk like a man, right? Mm-hmm. Subconsciously, what man? Oh my God, this is gonna sound so bad.
No, say it. We can edit it out if it's bad.
Yeah, because if we're talking about romantic relationship and I'm walking like a man, what man would actually want me?
That's fair. That's actually fair.
I understand what you're saying.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It just comes off too masculine. Like, guy wants.
Because a man doesn't want a man. A man wants a woman. Yeah. And if a man is walking like a woman, what woman wants him?
No sane woman.
You know? No sane woman. That's good. So for me, honestly, this is something that I am trying to understand more of. Everyone wants to say like a Proverbs 31 woman, but like it's so much more than that. Like our nurturing, like our caring, our all of like, I don't know, the essence of what a woman is. It's all throughout the Bible. Wisdom is referred to as a her. Right. Like, this is something that we're supposed to carry. We're supposed to be graceful. We're supposed to be wise. We're supposed to be understanding. We're supposed to be in tune with our emotions. And I think the world has told us, like, no, sensitivity is bad. Being in tune with your emotions is weak. Like, basically everything the world is telling you, do the opposite, and you'll be fine. Like,
it's a good benchmark.
Let's start there. But yeah, I mean, I don't have all the answers, obviously.
Before we go any further, coming from a woman's perspective, let me ask you this. Do you think a lot of the issues with women, or whatever the issues women might be going through, either in the church or in the world, is that because a direct symptom of the lack of strong men?
Wait, say that one more time.
Do you think the from a woman's perspective, do you think the issues, the problems, the attacks, whatever it is, how women are perceived, what they're going through, whatever, do you think that's a direct symptom of the greater sickness of the lack of men or good, strong men? Do you think a good, strong man can bring the
femininity out of a woman?
And the more of that there is, more strong men, the more...
I've heard that a lot, but I think that's just an excuse.
Wow, okay. I thought you were actually going to agree with that. Wow.
No, I mean, obviously, again, it's case by case, but I think that's like a running theme, right, on social media. Like, oh, I'm masculine because there's no masculine man around me that would put me in my femininity.
Yeah.
No, we can be feminine in our femininity without a man. Like, we don't have to be masculine.
I respect that.
Like, we don't have to be like, what is the need to be masculine? Like, I think even that understanding, like, having a job, paying my own bills, being financially stable, owning a house, these things don't make me masculine, right? I can still be a feminine woman. But I think like you can be accomplished and be a feminine woman, and that is okay. But it's just such it's just a lack of understanding what a woman is, honestly. Like, I don't know.
I really love what you said, because the first thing that comes into like my mind when we talk about like, you know, women playing like this role of being masculine and stuff
Right.
like that is the like, you know, like oh, like I don't need no man, like I'm a strong independent, you know, woman, like I don't need, like, you know, like even the rejecting of like men as a whole, like kind of have taken over place of like, oh, like I don't need anybody else, like I can do everything of myself. And I feel like, I mean, I can't speak for womanhood at all, but from like you said, from like manhood, from this perspective where we see like, okay, like then I am not needed, you know what I mean? Like if you can provide for yourself, if you can do these things for yourself, like what do you need a man for per se, you know? And I feel like at some point, like they go, we don't, you know what I mean? Like especially the woman in the world. But what?
No. Go on, finish. I'm gonna let you finish. Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. I'm not going
My bad.
there.
I was just gonna just say, like, for example, right? To piggyback off what Dagi said, sometimes I feel like it comes off that there's like this innate frustration coming from a lot of women about men.
Yeah, and that's why they have
Like,
to be in their own.
yeah, and like you said, I 100% agree. All this is situational. There's a million different men, a million different women. But just in general, like this whole, I don't know if it's like a movement or anything, but like this is frustration with men. A lot of it is understandable. Like, that makes sense. But some of it, sometimes I feel like it could be like an overstretch, where it's like some women may, okay, for example, like, do you think what's expected of a man at this point in time is at a bare minimum, or is it like at an all-time high? What is your point of view? Because I think some men might have a different point of view.
I'll say, I think right now, what's expected from a man by a woman might be a little more than what was expected by a man back in the days.
Really?
Because if you want to think like our parents' age or our grandparents' age, the woman wants a man that provides financially, right? That's a man, like a manly man, right? That's what was seen as attractive and as valuable, but was lacking in the emotional sense of things, right? But now we want a man that provides, that's a man, but in tune with his emotions, understands my emotions, can have
Decipher you.
yeah.
So
there's more of a
Tell me what I'm thinking.
no. There's more of a
Sorry.
there's more pressure on a man to now be in tune with his emotions, like for emotional intelligence. Like there's more emphasis on it now, I think. So when a woman looks at a man, she's not just looking at the fact that he can provide. That might not even be on some woman's list, like especially if that's not something that she struggles with. I mean, obviously it's nice if a man provides financially, but I feel like right now women are more looking for a man who is emotionally mature and can provide more emotional support for her than financial support. So, and back in the day, that wasn't the case, right? It was more financial support, physical support.
Yeah.
Now it's more emotional support.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's more of a strain on men. I think we're lacking on both ends. I think men need to be better men and women need to be better women. And if we're going to talk about it, I'm getting
I'm gonna get it, yeah.
getting a little passionate here.
Excited.
It's the fault of the church. What is the church doing if not discipling? Like, refinement, creating godly women, creating godly men rarely happens from the pulpit, but our emphasis is from the pulpit. Where are the godly men discipling not
Men
so
and women.
godly men to make them godly men? Or where are the godly women discipling women? Like, we don't even have any. Like, that's a lack that we have within the church is people who are able, equipped enough, and willing to disciple other people. Like that's literally our commandment as Christians. Go out and make disciples. Like, what does it mean to make a disciple? Equipped human beings. don't we have equipped human beings? It's not just the spiritual aspect of it to disciple someone, right? That's a huge part.
For sure.
But you have to equip them as a person, their character, their womanhood, their manhood. Like, these are all aspects. How to be a good husband, how to be a good wife, how to be a good mom, how to be a good dad, like how to be a good child. Like, these are all things that you do when you're discipling someone, but there's just not enough discipling happening.
But do you think also on the flip end, to push back a little bit, do you think some people also rely too much on the church teaching them that they don't do anything on their own personal lives?
For sure.
Because there's a lot of personal life involved too, where it's like some people want to put the blame on the church, where it's like, why aren't all these resources? But there's a lot of resources the church is actually giving, more than like any other and like corporation per se in the world could give you. The church has probably been spread thin with everything they're giving. And then you look at some of these people's personal lives, like, wait, you don't even be reading in your own time. You don't even spend time praying. And then how do you expect the whole church to bring that out of you, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's flipped both ways, where it's like, don't require the church to bring something out of you that you're not even willing to bring out in your own private time. Because then it's like, it's going to defeat the purpose. And then it goes back into the whole church hurt thing, where it's like, this church hurt me. Brother, you walked out of that church and cussed the homeless man out. Like, there's like, you know what I'm saying? There's had to be a stick. Not that.
Why do you have to curse out the homeless man?
That's what I said. I know. That's what I'm saying. But like, there has to be some type of like, at least looking within too. If you get what my
No, 100% looking within for sure. However, like,
but I agree with you though.
Jesus didn't just teach his disciples sermons and walk away. He did life with them, right?
That's true.
So you can teach people and walk away, but that's not going to transform. You can't expect people to have transformed lives if you just teach people and walk away. And people can read. Obviously, people can work on themselves. People can read. They can do the work themselves and grow. But there's a reason why Jesus lived the way he did. He is the blueprint, right, of how we should live. Jesus was in the inner workings of every one of his disciples. Like, they ate together, they slept together, they prayed together, they hung out together, they read the word together. Like, it was him doing life with his disciples and showing them how to walk. And I think if we did more of that and less emphasis on
numbers,
or on saying it from the pulpit, like, sermons on the pulpit, amazing, they're great, I'm not negating that. However, that's all we emphasize on. Like, a church it doesn't matter if you have 100 people if 90 of them aren't solid Christians, or are like, if they're struggling in a sin that they've been struggling with for years, and no one is out there helping them out, no one is out there guiding them, no one is out there discipling them, and yet they're there every Sunday, they're listening to you from the pulpit, but if no one knows that person enough to know that they're even struggling, it's relationship, you know what I mean? Like, that's where change happens. And that's why we always say it's not religion, it's relationship with God, right? Because there's change that happens when you have a relationship with someone. Same thing applies horizontally too. Like, this is not just religion. You don't just come and listen to me on Sundays and you walk away. Like, we have relationship, we build one another up. But yeah.
Because this is an amazing conversation. I feel like we could talk for hours. I don't even know how much time we
I know.
But I do want to touch on one thing as well. You brought up the pulpit, right? And I know you personally in your local church. I've even seen the gift of teaching in your life. I can attest to that. I feel like God is using you to break down concepts and whatever thing, and anything related to scriptures, and even just in life with the wisdom you have. I have two questions. One is, like, first off, your take on this whole notion of women teaching in the church, right? And on the flip end of that is, do you feel like, okay, if there is a belief that women can teach, women can be in the roles of pastors, preachers, whatever, there's a differentiator, we can differentiate. But if they do believe that, do you feel like the church, again, has given enough resources to support women in that way, or do you feel like they've been neglected?
This is a topic, I mean, that's been debated for
Yeah.
generations, right? It continues to be debated. People have their stance on it, but let's see what the Bible has to say about it. It's 1 Corinthians 14. So starting from 26, it talks about like tongue interpretation, there being someone to interpret. And then it goes on about prophecy, encouraging one another. And then in 33 says, for God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. And it says, as in all the churches of the saints, the woman should keep silent in the churches, for they are not permitted to speak, but should be in submission, as the law also says, if there is anything they desire to learn, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is shameful for a woman to speak in church. So if we're going to take this...
That's a very big passage used, yeah.
Yeah. So if we're going to take this passage and we're going to apply it to teaching, if you're taking this passage for as it is, right, direct quoting it, and then preventing a woman to teach in churches, you're incorrectly using this. So even if you agree full-heartedly for exactly what it says, how it says it, and the only way you're limiting women is by teaching on the pulpit, then you're incorrectly using it. Because if we're going to take this for as it is, it doesn't say that woman should not teach. It says, for it is shameful for a woman to speak in church. So there shouldn't be any woman leading prayer. There shouldn't be any woman leading announcements. There shouldn't be any woman leading worship.
Okay.
Woman should not make a sound in church. For if she does, then it is shameful, according to this, right? However, when we do a little deep dive and digging into why he said what he said, we have to understand Corinthians as a church, right? The Church of Corinth. Very of the times church then. Very influenced by the Greek and Roman cultures, right? Very materialistic, very just everything a godly church shouldn't be, they were. And in this case, the women were being very, they were, first of all, uneducated. They were being loud about their opinions. And then the Church of Corinth is also made up of new believers, mostly. So not only were they uneducated and being loud with their teachings, but they're also leading people astray. Okay? So when we have that understanding, Paul right here is giving order. So when something is very left, you're going to have to go very right to come kind of trying to balance it out, right? So he is trying to give the order back in the Church of Corinth. So he needs the woman to sit down to learn how to be woman, to learn and learn the word of God, sit silently for a bit so that the church can get back on track. When people say it's because Paul doesn't think women should be teaching, then what is...
helpers who are women as well.
Romans 16.
What was her name?
Here, I'll read it for you.
Was it Priscilla?
Romans 16. It was a couple. Romans 16, it says, I commend to you our sister Phoebe, a servant of the church at... I don't want to mispronounce it, but it's a church, that you may welcome her in the Lord in a way worthy of the saints, and help her in whatever she may need from you. For she has been a patron of many and myself as well. Other translation says, not a servant, but a deacon. And then it says, greet Priscilla and Aquila, for my fellow workers in Christ Jesus, who risked their necks for my life, to whom not only I give thanks, but all the churches of the Gentiles give thanks as well. And then if you keep going, it says, greet my beloved, who was the first convert to Christ in Asia. Greet Mary, who has worked hard for you. And then it says, greet Andronicus and Junia. Obviously, Junia, there's also debate about whether that's a man or a woman. Forget all that. We can just talk about Priscilla and Phoebe. These were people who did speak, like in church. And church, people love to say church is the building and the pulpit. Church is wherever the word of God is being spoken. So that Priscilla and Aquila had a Bible study in their house. You're telling me that's not church?
Right. That's
They were studying the Word of God in their house, and they were both leaders. So much so that they risked their necks out, right? Alongside. They were fellow workers with Paul. They were husband and wife. Phoebe, she was a deacon at her church, and he wants people to welcome her in a way worthy of the saints. These are women who actively participated in their church. So if we're taking Paul for his word for what he's saying in 1 Corinthians 14, women shouldn't be speaking, period. Not just teaching, speaking. For it is shameful for her to speak. And if she has a question, ask her husbands. Again, what about the woman who doesn't have husbands? What, she's not going to learn? Like, if we're taking it for what it is. Earlier in 1 Corinthians 2, like 1 Corinthians as well, in 11, it talks about women prophets. So they're prophesying. Yeah. So these women are speaking in church. Like, there's so many things to hold back. It's not even women at this point. If you're holding back women with a calling on their lives, you're holding back God. Like, that is a dangerous game to be playing. Because if God has a calling over my life, and if that calling has something to do with teaching, and you don't want me to teach with a church that has men because Paul said so, because you misinterpreted the text, the word, then you're hindering God's work. So it's sinful. Like, you're hindering God's work, and you're spewing a message that's not biblical, and you're saying it. That's what's so crazy. You're saying it's biblical, and it's not biblical.
I think the big one, a lot of the big verses, usually, it was the first
Timothy.
A woman should not. I don't permit a woman to exercise authority over a man.
Mm-hmm.
And then people use that. I think even just in general, a lot of these verses,
Mm-hmm.
you have to think about the characteristics of God as well. Like throughout, like the Bible, the first person to see Jesus was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
A woman.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Paul's helpers were women. Mary Magdalene, all these amazing women that God used instrumentally to move the gospel around.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of like, why would a woman not be able to still teach? You know, is it impossible for a man to learn from a woman? I think all these different things people get. I be thinking about like why. I think a lot of it could be pride. A lot of it could be old school thinking, and like you said, misinterpretation.
Just misinterpreting.
Yeah.
Even that one. It's 1 Timothy 2.
Verse 12, right?
Yeah, we can start from verse 11. Let a woman learn quietly with all submissiveness. I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet, for Adam was formed first, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived and became a transgressor. Did you guys know that the word for woman and wife is the same in the Greek? And the woman for man and husband is also in the same for Greek.
Okay.
So right here, it's not talking about me and you. Like, it's not talking about me and men, or women and men in general. Right here, it's talking about a husband and wife, and that's why there's a comparison between Adam and Eve. So it says, let a woman learn quietly with all submissiveness. I do not permit a woman or a wife to teach or exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. Is not, oh, you can't teach your husband even. It's aligning that headship again. So woman is submissive under the man. He's realigning that, because earlier in that chapter, he talks about all Christians living a quiet life. So to remain quiet isn't to remain silent. It's to be humble under your husband. It's to learn from your husband, to be submissive to your husband, and not try to be head over him. So it has nothing to do with the church. This is a husband and wife to begin with. So it's just a lot of misinterpreted text.
I know we kind of glossed over it, because I've seen videos. I don't know if you guys know, Mike Winger has like a whole series about like 12 hours long. Like, this is I just wanted to touch on it slightly.
Yeah.
Debated topic as well. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
But before we do wrap up, I do want to still leave the floor open to you. Any closing remarks you have? And it could be any advice to the people who are going to be watching this, both men and women alike. Are there any closing remarks you have? Because we touched on a lot of things, to be honest. Hopefully you guys are feeling edified from this, because this is a great conversation, bro. Put it behind a paywall.
Any closing remarks? I think I said a lot. I definitely said a lot. I guess because I said a lot, my word is not the word of God, right? I don't want people to run with what I said and like, this is fact, or this is what God wants me to do, or this is what God says, right? So everything I say, everything I will say ever, if it's heard by other people or if they take it as advice, should always align it with the word of God, right? Or see if it even matches with the word of God. I would say that I would give that advice for anything that you listen to. Always refer back to the word of God. It's all for the glory of God, right? To just do everything for the glory of God. I'll just leave it there.
Amen.
Amen.
Any closing remarks on your end, Daddy?
Keep Christ in your life.
Now, on my end, I would like to say thank you guys for tuning in. This is the first episode back, new setting. Pray for us, but also, be active in the comments. Let us know what you liked about it. What should we add? We can do a part 2 of Punu if you so graciously be able to come back on. Any topic we would like to reach on. We have a lot of guests coming up as well. So, just stay tuned. Bright future for OTD and content. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next one. OTD, we're back, baby.
Send this to your grandma.
Don't send it to your grandma.
Thanks for having me.